Maybe I should take the weekend off more often. Look what the price action's done. Well done, Bitcoin, well done. Thank you for listening. Okay, well, here we are, another one of my price action analysis videos. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a cracking weekend and a good start to your week. Let's go straight on with the price action analysis. So this is indeed the daily chart, but I'm going to just jump to the weekly because, as you can see, last week closed in basically an indecision manner, but with a long wick to the downside, which effectively means that the latter part of the week was buying pressure as opposed to selling pressure. Much like this one, to a lesser extent this one, definitely this one. And I think it's significant, although I don't just trade candle patterns. I don't suggest you do either, but this is not financial advice, and you do whatever you like with your time. But on their own, I don't think they're particularly useful. However, yesterday's most of the week was quite red, and then it rallied coming into the weekend. So, and then today, so that's good. With regards to the momentum pivots, you can see on the weekly, the MACD will continue to rise as long as Bitcoin closes this week above 63,000. So, currently nearly $3,000 above there. There's a long time left to go in the week, and so we'll see. But that's pretty good. If you look at where the Bollinger Band's on the weekly, it's now, and it didn't close below the midpoint last week. So I talked about this last week, and I said, if it closes below the midpoint, that puts it back into the bottom part of the Bollinger Band. And then if volatility expansion occurs on a weekly time frame, it's more likely there'll be a move to the downside. However, that didn't happen, and so far this week, it's opened up into the top half of the Bollinger Band. We're still waiting for volatility to pick up. As you can see, the Bollinger Band is still very narrow, and for volatility to expand, Bitcoin basically needs to get to new all-time highs. So will that happen? P.S. It was this week that I said might be the week for Bitcoin. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I've tried to blow my own trumpet. It's very difficult. But this period of consolidation was 31 weeks, and at the last count, I think we were at 30. So if you don't include the week that's set in the range of doom, this is the 31st week. So maybe history is going to repeat itself. Whoa. Will you stop giving me that? From this consolidation, followed by a big upside move, to this one, hopefully followed by a big upside move. Time will tell, we will find out maybe this week. Okay, jumping down to the daily. So as you can see, the daily, the Bollinger Bands had narrowed in. The good thing was, and again, when I recorded my last video, it was Friday, so I'd just seen this candle, and I was suggesting that Bitcoin was in danger of putting in a lower low compared to this low. Well, it didn't really do that, not on a closing basis. And clearly, prices bounced from there. So what does that mean? Well, it means that this daily uptrend is still kind of intact. And this indeed looks a lot like a double bottom or a W formation, which when it breaks the neckline, you would expect it to at least retrace up to the previous high. So Bitcoin's already done that, and who knows, maybe it'll pull back a bit, maybe it won't, only time will tell. However, if Bitcoin does start to close, dailies back above pretty much where it is now, so 63 and change, that will look like volatility expansion on the daily time frame, when you'd have to be very biased for an upside move. I would suggest that upside move is likely to then see some resistance somewhere between 68 and 70,000. 70,000 seems like a nice round number though. And you can see momentum, just like the price action, has moved back green and will continue as long as Bitcoin doesn't close a daily back below 62.5. So that's lower than the weekly pivot at the moment, and it's clearly a fair away from that 62.5 right now. The midpoint is coming in at a similar point to the 20 SMA on the Bollinger Band, which is like the midpoint on the Bollinger Band, but it is a 20 SMA is around a similar level. The 4 hour. Oh, look at that. Some nice green candles. It seems like a long time since we've seen any of those. So you can see the 4 hour. So last week, the 4 hour was looking like it was going to start to downtrend. It had a high here, then it had a lower high. And if Bitcoin had started to close 4 hours and dailies below this price action, that would have been very much a 4 hour and probably daily downtrend. But it doesn't seem to have done so. And indeed, if Bitcoin does indeed turn down from, say, where it is at the moment, then that would be a higher high here on the 4 hour compared to this area. So even if it turned down from where it is now and, say, revisited, say, 63,564 and then turned up, obviously, you would then have a higher high and indeed a low and a higher low, so a 4 hour uptrend. So that would look good, and I think it's probably more likely at the moment, particularly as pretty much all the momentum markers are to the upside. To do the pivot for momentum on the 4 hours at 64.5, which is a little bit away from there as well, so it's likely this is going to remain green for a little while longer. So momentum, so buying pressure is definitely has been unleashed on the 4 hour, the daily, and having closed last week, the weekly too. The weekly's still got some work to do, and it certainly isn't expanding the volatility on the weekly yet, but that has to come at some point. It just does. Unless, like, the world ends, which hopefully it won't. Hopefully it won't. So there you go. I hope you missed me, and I hope I don't. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but that's fine. I'm sure you've got very busy lives. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And it's been fun. Join me again tomorrow if you enjoy this sort of price action analysis. And please like, subscribe, share, and you can drop me a line on Twitter if you like. Take care. Goodbye.